Let me make sure everything is right. Make sure I'm right and people can hear me. Okay, folks. This is the Live and Level Gamers podcast. We're getting things set up, so let us know if you can hear us in the live chat. I see Damien is already down in the chat room. If there's anyone else, let me know. We are here and we are ready to go. All right, so let's get started. It's about to get live. We keep it pretty level, no surprise. Come and listen to the topics bussin'. Yeah, check out our discussion. Keith Norris and D2K. K-Bum 20 on the MIC. Jet I Night all the way in Germany. Leveled head, you know who that boy is. But it say, live and level, Yes. We are here. If you are in the live chat, let me know what your name is, and I will be sure to give you a shout out live on the air. This is the Live and Levels Gamers podcast. We are back 2 weeks in a row. We are still doing this. We are still having fun. We are still doing what we do. And I have the whole crew, all 5 gentlemen are here live. We got K-Bum, we got Jedi, we got D2K, and Mr. Norris is in the building. Hold up. All right. What's up, fellas? What up? All right. Y'all missed the conversation we was having coming in, but I will not.
You ain't missed it, because we about to start it back up now.
No, y'all ain't. What's up, Kenya? Welcome to the show. Kenya, is that Kenya Charles? Kenya Charles.
You ain't missed nothing.
No, we not starting that conversation.
Hey, Bob, like, it ain't sweet.
It ain't over.
We want to send a shout out to Mr. LeBron James. And we want to send a shout out to Anthony Davis. The Live and Level Gamers podcast crew want to send a shout out to LeBron James and Anthony Davis and Caldwell Pope and who else? We got I don't know the rest of y'all plays, but we don't care. Anyway, got Mr. Green, Danny Green. Who else? Who up in this thing? We got Phoenix Star 5000, welcome to the show. Kenya. Okay. All right, my bad. Kenya. My bad, bro. So welcome to the show. We here to pick up from last week. We got some stuff to talk about because Microsoft undid their thing, man, and we got to talk about it. LeBron James and the ref cheated. Oh, you see, boo on that, man. Boo on that right there. No, don't do us like that, Kanye. Don't hate on. Don't say the refs cheated. Just understand the Clippers didn't make it. That's what happened. The Clippers got beat by the Nuggets, and we beat the Nuggets. So they're chicken nuggets.
If you don't get to talking about these games.
Anyway, so we are here. So what's good, fellas? Y'all know what I'm feeling like, and y'all know what I'm on. I'm excited. I'm happy. My team is in the playoffs. We finna bring a ring to a team that hasn't sniffed the playoffs in 10 years. So any Laker fan that is listening right now should be thankful. But we won't talk about that. We're not here to talk about those games. We're not here to talk. We're not here to talk about those games. We're here to talk about video games. So let's get into it. First of all, anything new y'all way? Anything exciting? Anything happening? Jedi, anything out your way, bro? Before we get into
same old on my end.
Okay. D2, you was talking what?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my sister called me and asked me if I can get a PS5 for her for my nephew because he give it to him for Christmas. So I'm trying to look around to find one.
They said they're gonna have some more pre-orders here shortly, though.
Yeah,
so.
They had some more. I guess they had some more this past Friday or whatever.
Yeah, they had some bundles.
Bundles.
K-Bun, let D2K sister have that PlayStation 5 you got. You don't need it, man.
Wait.
You don't need it right now, man. Just give it to him for his nephew, or can have a PlayStation 5. Me and you will get ours next year. Huh?
So this how we gonna start it? We gonna start it like this? Okay.
Huh?
Okay.
Hey, so, y'all know Sony lied, right? So it don't matter. You keep the PS4. Y'all want to go there? Y'all want to go there?
Stop, Keith, stop it, man. Anyway, hey, as y'all can see, we's rest to go. So I ain't gonna hold up. Jedi, did you finish what you were saying, bro? Before I think I cut you off before you even finished what you were saying.
Nah, it's all good, man. I'm glad that you cut me off. It was nothing good. I'm sitting here watching the Jets get thumped on, so that's what I was gonna say.
No, don't do that to yourself, sir. Don't do it to yourself.
And my Cleveland Browns won during the 1 p.m. games.
Yeah,
but the Jets, they're looking the way they
better
always look.
It could be worse. It could be the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, Lord.
Man, what happened? Yeah. Okay, what happened to their quarterback again? Somebody tested positive for the COVIDs, right?
Who's quarterback?
On the Jet. I mean, on the Atlanta Falcons. I thought you said the Falcons. I'm tripping.
I did. No, Matt Ryan was out there. For some reason, Trubisky wasn't playing, and I have no idea why.
They benched him.
Okay.
Wow.
They benched him. They said, we're done with you.
Wow.
Okay.
And then Foles come out there and do the stupid Foles stuff.
Man, we don't drop the F-bombs on here, man. We don't drop the F-bombs on here.
Man, Foles out there getting W's.
All right, so let's go into this next part of you know what we do, so let's go. Yeah. Now, if you pass the offer and play the round, hey, man, we need that money. Been gaming on. Sing it, folks. Let's go. Let's go. Hey. What you been gaming on? 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 Like, what's going on over there? That's that black church. What you been gaming on? Gaming on. K-Bomb, you don't know nothing about that, do you? Gaming on. All right, man. What you been gaming on? I'm gonna start with Mr. Jedi Knight. What you been gaming on, bro?
The usual. I've been on Call of Duty Mobile, getting in a good portion of sniping. That's really it, man. Kind of, unfortunately, not because the game is bad. It's just because I haven't really. It's a different feel when you sit down in front of your TV. You feel like you got to allocate the time. With the mobile phones, you can just pick it up when you can. But I have not played The Last of Us, and it's good. It's not that it's the game, but for the past couple of weeks, I have not played my PS4. But it's been all Call of Duty Mobile for this past week.
Okay. Call of Duty Mobile, man. You talk about. I'm gonna have to see if I can check this game out, man.
Bro, that Call of Duty Mobile, man, I really dig it.
Okay. Mr. Norris, what you been gaming on, bro?
I got a question before I go. So, can you use a controller with that Call of Duty? Or do you
yes, you can. You can use a PlayStation controller with it.
Oh, perfect. I might check it out.
And if you really can do it, you can download something called BlueStacks. It's like a Android emulator, and then through that emulator you can use like the Google Play, and you can play Call of Duty Mobile with a controller directly from your big screen on your desktop computer.
Yeah, I've done that.
Man, boy, Jedi be saying mobile pristine. I be like, well, I gotta say mobile like he say mobile. I don't feel like I say it right. No, yo, man, the way you say mobile make me feel like, yeah, man, mobile. Like,
bro, because they be, the gamers, they be trying to clown us mobile players. Like, yo, that ain't real gaming. So I be having to say it with some emphasis.
Bank on it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, exactly. With some
it'd be so perfect, man. I'm like, man, his syllables be in the right spot on every syllable, man.
You're a wild boy.
Come on, D2K, what you been gaming on, bro? Say it, K-Bomb.
I didn't go.
Oh, my bad, Keith. You asked the question, didn't you?
I haven't been gaming on nothing. I just want to say that. But I do plan on downloading Flight Simulator.
Flight
So
Simulator.
hopefully next time we on, I get a chance to talk about that.
Okay, Flight Sim. Okay, I got you for the Xbox. Okay, D2K.
I haven't really been gaming on too much lately. I've been doing a lot of work, so I haven't had much time to game on anything new other than my normal stuff. So,
Okay.
nothing really new to report here.
All right, cool. K-Bum 20. What you been gaming on, bro?
Gaming on the variation of multiplayer games that I usually go through the gambit with. So still playing Apex Legends with a couple of guys. Still playing Madden, which is I'm almost ready to stop playing that game. The gameplay for that is just it's gone from good at the beginning of the year to just complete trash. I don't understand why they can't just. I don't know. I don't understand why they can't have good gameplay in the game.
You want me to answer that question? You want me to answer it?
Uh-oh.
I'm trying to think if I want to go down this rabbit hole.
Nah, you don't want to, bro. You don't want to.
I don't want to. No, I don't want to. But no, the gameplay on it has gone to complete crap in the past couple of weeks, and they've had I think 7 patches since the game's been out. So it's just been really bad.
That is crazy.
Still playing 2K20. I'm not touching 21 until next gen, so I'll still be playing 20, and I play that with a bunch of guys, and a little Ghost, and FIFA. I forgot about that. FIFA 20, and a little Ghost. So I've been gaming on.
Jedi, I want to know. I want to know what's wrong with Madden, bro. Yeah. I'm sorry, I couldn't pass this up. What you talking about? Escape
Bro,
I want to go down the rabbit hole.
This is a 45-minute conversation. Well, no,
exactly.
This is a 2-hour conversation that he can squeeze into 45.
Just squeeze it into 45 seconds, man. But what was you finna say?
No, 45 minutes.
I know, but we only got 45 seconds.
And that would just be solely my explanations would be the 45 minutes. That wouldn't even be any sort of rebuttal.
Okay.
But yeah, that Madden is we gotta stop buying the game.
Yeah.
They are not doing anything with the game, bro. They're not doing anything to it. They're doing roster updates, and it's now I think they're just straight cheating people out of money. People are finding last year logos, like this year's Madden 21. They're going into practice modes level and finding where it says Madden 20, and that also happened in last year's game.
Yeah,
Madden
I was going to say
they were finding logos with Madden 19.
I seen that already. I seen some of these things.
In the loading screens, the menus, they're not updating the information for the players. They're getting the names of the teams misspelled. It's atrocious what they've done. And they had the audacity. I think it was Grady from the dev team that had the audacity to write an article talking about, all of the issues that they had given COVID. Well, all of these issues were happening before COVID. But if you're gonna blame COVID, then you shouldn't have put out this game and sold it for $60. You should have sold it for 40 or 30. Don't blame the COVID for putting out a game that wasn't even finished or complete.
I will jump in really quickly and say 2 quick points. Then we can go on because me and Jedi go back and forth. It's easily gonna be 2 hours. But I will really quickly say 2 points. Point 1, 2K is even worse. That's why I didn't buy 2K.
We got to talk about that tonight too. There's something that occurred today that I found out. But I'll let you finish.
Oh, okay. So 2K was even worse. That's why majority of people that I play with has not bought 2K21. Madden the reason why I bought Madden, they actually put a new mode in the game, which was the yard, which is really fun to play. That's unique, it's new mode, and it's funny because Jedi is not simulation, it's arcade, and it's really fun.
It's arcade
because Madden can do arcade really good and not simulation. Okay, so that's another one of your points. So I will say that, and then second part, I will agree and say that because I work in IT, and I will tell you firsthand experience that COVID has had a big impact on IT. So I will say that is a factor with all these games, even including NBA 2K. But it doesn't. It's not an excuse you can use for every aspect. It did affect gaming, but it's not an excuse or blanket excuse you can put out there for why your game is complete garbage. So I will say the two pieces, and I will walk away from it.
Okay, shout out to Chariot Man Gaming. Welcome to the show. Welcome. We are happy to have you in here. We've been off and on, man, but we was on last week though, Chariot Man. So happy to see you in the chat room. Anybody else in there, man, let me know and I'll give you a shout out live on the air. As far as me, man, I'm like D2K and Keith. I haven't gotten much gaming in this week. I've been doing a lot of video shoots, so I've been doing a lot of that and music editing, so I haven't gotten a chance to sit down and actually throw on some games. Now my Switch has been on because my daughter been playing, but me, myself, and I did no gaming this week, so everything I played last week is basically what I played up to this point. So with that being said, man, we want to go ahead and get into these topics. That's a first. We got through all that in under 16 minutes, fellas. Do y'all want to talk about something? No, let's go. Let's get to these topics.
No, man, let's go. We got that record. Let's go.
Let's go. So we're picking up from last week. Y'all gave us all type of heat in the comment section. Keith, what was they saying? What was they saying, Keith?
Sony lied.
So Sony lied. And so we kind of dealt with that, and I believe this subject right here is going to go back into kind of where we dived off last week, because our sentiment was messaging, the importance of messaging, and how we felt that Microsoft's messaging surrounding the Xbox Series S and X were not good, and it had placed them behind Sony in mind share and appeal to consumers. Well, not a day later, a megaton was dropped. Microsoft dropped $7.6 billion on, what's the name of the actual company that Bethesda was under? Do anybody got that pulled up? I don't have it pulled up right now.
It's Zenib something.
Yeah, something like that.
ZeniMax, which through acquiring ZeniMax, they acquired Bethesda and what's the other studio that Bethesda controls?
id Software.
And all these games are now under the thumb and control of Microsoft. What you say? Phil Spencer. So we only got.
Actually, hold up.
Go ahead.
Let's not give Phil Spencer any credit. Ooh. You guys specifically last week asked me to submit my resume.
Oh my God, that was a good one. That was perfect.
So you're welcome.
That was perfect, Jedi Knight. The timing on that was good. All right, so well, let's give it a shout out to Jedi for making this happen.
When they get that check in the mail, gonna be, bro.
And just help us get.
Yeah, for sure. We gotta make sure that your sister get that PS5 with that money
though. So this information came out the day after we posted that podcast, because somebody put in the comment section of our last podcast when we said something Microsoft doesn't have no games, like they just bought Bethesda. I'm like, bro, that happened a day after we had the podcast. Look at the dates, man. Look at the dates. But we only got 2 topics, because I believe that we can only handle these 2 topics because we're gonna have a lot to say. So our first topic is Microsoft buys Bethesda. How big is this move? And then the second topic is how important is first-party exclusives. Now, again, picking up from last week, a lot of y'all had a lot of flack for us because I don't see him in here. Who was that last week? Damien was on us. Sim was on us.
It was
is it not Chariot? it was Kevin, but that
Kevin, no, there used to be what you call it,
something Dark Sun Rider. Dark Sun
Dark
Rider
Sun
was
Rider.
on us.
Yeah.
So a few of y'all was in there last week, and I want y'all to bring all that steam and heat this time because we're gonna be talking about it. But that's how we felt. But things have changed. So the first question I have is the title of this podcast. Has Microsoft snatched momentum? Has Microsoft snatched momentum? Then we get to this first and second topic. So I want y'all to answer that question for me first. Jedi Knight, did Microsoft snatch momentum with this announcement of acquiring Bethesda?
Yeah, they absolutely did. And it's quite evident because the entire industry is talking about what they did. Like, it's a big deal. It's the biggest acquisition in gaming history. This is not like something lightweight.
This ain't Rareware. This not Rare.
Yeah.
It's not them buying Rare from Nintendo.
Exactly. This is something that is a big deal. And furthermore, it really sets them up for the future because my personal opinion, this could be a bit of a stretch, but my personal opinion is this is probably the last generation that we're going to see dedicated boxes, which means that everything that they're doing with Microsoft Game Pass, they're going to have 7 years to position themselves. So the next quote unquote generation is going to be basically Microsoft Windows 12 with Game Pass, and these are the exclusive, developers that you're going to have that's going to be dedicated to this ecosystem. What they did 24 hours after our conversation was epic.
Okay. Now, who was this down here? Kanye said, no, you skipped the 2 topics from last podcast. What's next for Nintendo and the end of the console war? You're right, Kanye. I did, but you know what? I felt like more people was for this
more
conversation.
Important news happened.
so I felt like we might well go and skip that. Don't be mad at me, man. Don't be mad at me. So Jedi, you said this acquisition is the biggest. This is the biggest acquisition in gaming history, and by Microsoft acquiring them, you say this definitely has given them the momentum. So let me bring in Keith on this, get his opinion. Has Microsoft snatched the momentum from their competitors with this announcement?
All right. Let me preface my comment by saying nothing changes for me. I'm not really a Bethesda fan. However, yes, this is absolutely like a mind-blowing statement that Microsoft is making. When you consider, and just add everything that Jedi said, because I agree with him 1,000%, and then I'm going to add this. If you consider what the new Microsoft with this Game Pass thing that they got going on, and all of these things and all of these systems that they're trying to put in play, if they can show the support for Bethesda and just supporting their games financially, technologically, whatever, this is going to do a lot of damage to the industry because a lot of more people are going to be like, yo, I'm going to go under Microsoft. There's probably going to be a lot more people like, yo, we're going to go under this umbrella because look at the support they give us. Look at the technology that we're able to utilize. Look at all of this, the money, just what Microsoft. This is the new wave of how we can get our games out. People can try our games faster through Game Pass. It's a bigger game than how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it like I don't like Bethesda games. Microsoft is looking at it like, yo, we're marketing. This is still a marketing thing that we're doing, but that's a big move because there's a lot of people who love those games.
Okay. All right. K-Bomb, go ahead. Did Microsoft snatch momentum?
Yeah. I think it was very, very smart of them to put this out either the day of or the day before pre-releases, to just get all that momentum going their direction. I think that was pretty smart of them. I think they did a little chess move right there. I appreciate that. They're getting themselves into the game, into the action. So yeah, I think it was a good decision for them. The only thing that I kind of ponder and think about is that I know for the past 2 years we've the game industry has been dogging Bethesda with some of their releases. Because last Fallout game was absolutely dog garbage. It was
don't slip up.
no, I was slip up. I don't even got that in my vocabulary. I,
I know you don't. I ain't know you stumbling over a table or chair over there. I ain't know what was happening.
No, but Bethesda's been dogged lately. Doing some of the releases, and even though they do have games that people love, they have been dogged. So when I first saw it, I was like, oh, Bethesda, but their publicity in the past 2-3 years haven't been good. But okay. And then I really started looking into it and said, okay, you know what? They do have a history. They do have a following. They do have iconic games. This is good for Microsoft because first party is where it's at. If they can get those people. So yeah, to be short, I'll stop it. Momentum is good. They took it right before pre-orders. It was a great job for Microsoft.
Okay. D2K, thoughts? Did Microsoft snatch the momentum from the competitor?
Yeah, they did. It's kind of like a tennis match between Microsoft and Sony right now. Just keep hitting volleys over the net. And it's exciting to watch as a consumer to see, who's going to try to top the other one and what they're going to come up with to top the other company. I'm not a real fan of Bethesda's games either, but I can understand a lot of people are, and I can look down the line. I can see things. I can compartmentalize things and see how their franchise can intertwine with Microsoft's franchises. I mean, I can see how you can somehow try to, cross over Fable with Elder Scrolls,
right?
Or maybe cross over Halo with one of the multiple first-person shooters that they have. Or Microsoft getting one of their smaller studios to work on games that maybe Bethesda didn't feel or work on franchises that they maybe didn't feel were important. Like maybe they could bring Quake back and get somebody to say, hey, this studio over here that we got, you guys work on Quake, you guys work on this game, you guys work on that game. That could be why Microsoft bought so many studios, because that could have been their plan all along, is to take all these smaller studios that they bought and then take all these franchises from Bethesda and say, you work on this, you work on this, you work on this, and all of a sudden you have a blitzkrieg of major titles that have a history to them all coming out under the Microsoft umbrella.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, I'm not saying that they're going to do that. I'm just saying that that's at their disposal if they choose to do that.
Right.
Yeah, the possibility is there.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So they got, so this is definitely, it's a huge move. I don't think that it hurts Sony at all. I think this is something that Microsoft needed to do. They had to get up off the mat, and I think they did get up off the mat, and they got themselves right. They caught a smooth one from Sony a couple of weeks ago, but they got up off the mat, and now they ready to fight. Now we back even again. So let's see what Sony can do to answer that.
I will kind of slightly disagree with the point that I think it does hurt Sony, and the factors of especially.
Hold that thought, K-Bomb. Hold that thought.
Okay, I'll step back.
We'll deal with that one on how big is this move, because I think that cool. I think where you're going, I want you to say that, and I'll bring you in first to continue what you were saying when I bring up how big is this move. I want to say this. Remember last week when I said Microsoft need to learn? I said it's a scripture, but I said my mama told me this: never let your right hand know it. Never let your left hand know what your right hand is thinking. Mm-hmm. That's what Microsoft just did. Microsoft played this close to the chest, because if y'all think this wasn't already inked and done before Sony announced what they was doing, you fooling yourself. This just didn't happen days after Sony announced their stuff. Microsoft just saved this bad boy for a just in case moment. You know how you got the fire extinguisher in there, and he just in case break glass. That's D2K line. I stole that from you, D2K. I'm giving you credit. This is that just in case moment where they broke that glass. Well, they was gonna break the glass anyway and let you know it, but they saved it for this moment. As soon as Sony tried to snatch the rug away from under Microsoft and then lied. You know, everybody, Keith. What they do, Keith? What they do, Keith? Is he there? Mr. Norris, is they lied? Sony lied, right? So after Sony lied and all the announcements.
Sorry, I'm bringing some stuff in the house. My bad.
Okay. Left me hanging. Sony lied, and you know we was all saying how Sony basically had the momentum. They basically set their system up to move crazy units this holiday season. Microsoft, man, we all are not really Bethesda fans, but Bethesda is a major a studio, just like Jedi Knight was saying. This is the biggest acquisition in gaming history. $7.6 billion to acquire all that you said ZeniMax. How you say that again?
ZeniMax. Yep.
ZeniMax owned, so Bethesda and all the studios on it and other stuff, because it was other stuff that they purchased along with when they bought this company. They got all these titles: Elder Scrolls, Wolfenstein, Doom. What's the other one?
Fallout.
What's the spy
Quake.
one? Quake. What's the spy game that they had? A lot of people don't talk about. Is it Dishonored? I'm gonna look up the list of the games here in a second because that's gonna come up under the importance of first party. Microsoft, yeah, K-Bum is right. Sony ain't liking this because as much as maybe Vegas. What's the Vegas one? What's that one? That's Fallout Vegas. Is that one of the top? Yeah, there it is. Dishonored. That's the other game that they own. Dishonored. Thanks, Kanye. And I just saw somebody. Tiger King is up here. Let me give you a shout out, bro. Shout out to Tiger King. The Evil Within. Come on, Kanye. Keep naming them up there. I'll read them off. But this to me, this was Starfield. That's a big one right there. To me, Microsoft has snatched the momentum because when you say 7.6 billion, right that off top make your back tingle. Like, what? 7.6 billion? Like, they got enough money to just casually say, yeah, we dropped 7.6 billion on Bethesda. And yeah, we own all them games now. We still gonna let all the contracts that Sony got with the exclusives, we gonna let them have. We gonna honor that. I was cracking up when Phil was saying it. Phil was talking so nonchalant, like, yeah, we gonna honor all the contracts up until this point. Then it's gonna be a case by case basis. Do you know? Yeah, Sony is sweating bullets on that case by case because even though we might not play every one of these games, these have been popular games. That Deathloop is exclusive to Sony right now, which you know that's not gonna remain exclusive. So you know that's gonna change. Prey, Evil Within, all these games have been AA to AAA range. Rage, ain't dang man. Keep naming them, Kanye. Kanye, give it to me, man. This is crazy, bro. This is crazy. This is a big acquisition. Microsoft has definitely put themselves in a good position, and this is the type of messaging that I was talking about last week. This is the type of stuff that gets you excited for the system. That you can add this stuff currently to the Game Pass offering of games, and then you can see games out farther out that you know, man, this could be Doom. Doom might be exclusive to Microsoft.
That is what I am most sorry for cutting you off, but that is the game that I think is the key piece here. Let me let you finish, and then I wanted to follow behind you. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, what was Tiger King saying? He said, where is our money level that we need to say we are part of ZeniMax? Jedi got all the money. You got to talk to him. He the one inked the deal. But no, man. So just to answer that first, the name of this podcast, did Microsoft snatch momentum? Absolutely. What have we been talking about for the last week? I mean, snatched it literally the day after, a day or two after Sony, sold out with the PlayStation 5s and all that was happening, Microsoft came right back in and was like, okay, we gonna one up you today. We just bought Bethesda. We just bought the games that's exclusive to Sony. We finna make money. They finna make money off of the games that Sony is selling. They do y'all, man, that's major. So let's get into this first topic. The second topic that I called the first topic. How big?
Topic 1.1.
Yeah, the second part of this first topic. How big is this move? K-Bum, you were saying something, then Jedi, you come after him and finish what you were saying. Go ahead, K-Bum.
Yeah, I'll try to. So, I definitely think that the move is big, because when you start eating into the pockets of your competitors, and also when you start denying content to your competitor, you are making big moves. And this is exactly what the momentum that the 360 had. If you remember, at the beginning of the 360, their first move was to snatch that exclusively off of GTA, off of Sony system. That was their first snatch. They snatched that clean out on E3. My man had the tattoo on his arm or whatever. I forgot his name. He went to EA after that. But that was their big announcement when they took away GTA. Took GTA. They took Devil May Cry. They took some of these Sony only games, and moved them over to Xbox, and even gave them some like time exclusives to them. You didn't really see that with the Xbox One. You didn't really see them make big moves because they thought they were in a good position, and they thought the Kinect was going to do it. I don't know. So you didn't really see those big moves, but they sound like they're back at it again. And Microsoft knows that you can win a fight by having the most money. And they're showing that now, and they're getting back in the game of buying those big market games, or paying those companies to get the games they need, because they know what was the continuous topic of the generation of their generation. It's Xbox has good value, but they have no games. So if they can answer that by saying, yes, we have games, and now we have games that you can only play on our system, that is going to be maybe enough to get them back into the game, and maybe enough to put them in first place. Who knows? Because they have, as Jedi explained last week, they have a system that casual gamers are going to want to buy, which is the 1440p system at $299.
I have something to say about that.
Yeah. I'll give you time for that too. So the only piece I was saying to you, D2K, was the piece that I think it does hurt Sony. I think they're digging into Sony's pockets. I think they're making Sony nervous also with the time exclusives and some of the stuff that Sony had deals with them. And I wonder if that's why Microsoft pinpointed them, because they had several deals with Sony. I wonder if that was also one of the reasons why they pinpointed this team to dig even more into Sony's pocket.
Let me say this real quick and then come in, Jedi. I wish I could be a fly.
Peter Moore. Yeah, Peter Moore. Thank you, Damon. Sorry. Thank you, Damon. Peter Moore. That's the one.
I wish I could be a fly on the wall to see how how the execs at Sony felt when they heard about that acquisition. They probably already knew about it. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, that I would think something that major probably was already in the know. The whispers was already out. But I wonder how many beads of sweat begin to trickle down the faces of these individuals, man, when they found out that these exclusives, or these timed exclusives that they have with Bethesda, is now under the hand and control of Microsoft. Like, dude, you literally at the power and sway of your direct competition.
Right.
But go ahead, Jedi Knight. You were saying something, and then D2K come in after him, and then Keith, you got it after that.
This acquisition is massive, and I think the key here is Doom. Like, I don't play Elder Scrolls, though. Anybody within the gaming community knows that the Elder Scrolls community is massive. They have a real following that is huge. You have Fallout. I don't play Fallout either. but there's a massive fallout following.
Right.
But Doom was rebooted this generation. And in 2016, it was pretty much game of the year to many people. Doom Eternal was a massive release for id Software. It sold, it was top 10, it was top 5 in console sales and top 5 in PC sales. It dominated on Steam. Microsoft can literally take a game that was top 5 in consoles and top 5 in PC and say, look, if you want to play it on console, this is where you play it. If you want to play it on PC, this is where you play it within their ecosystem. And also, it really answers the question for a lot of people who say, well, look, I'm done playing Doom, I'm done playing Forza, and I'm done playing Gears. What else can you offer me that's not either a racing game or some, multiplayer shoot 'em up, first person shooter? For them to have these Elder Scrolls or these other games that are really like offline first person experiences, they really added to their library. Granted, I mean, they played out of their nose for this. 7 point something million is nothing to just say it's not really a lot of money. It is massive, but I think that the return in the long run, this is crazy, and this is coming from a Nintendo fan, But I definitely got to give kudos to Microsoft on this. I think what they've done to set up this new generation for their consoles and their ecosystem, I can't give these guys enough praise. I think they are demolishing Sony. In my opinion, they are demolishing Sony. And I think Sony, because they're in the position that they're in, they don't, a lot of people don't see it, but I think that, remember going into this current generation, how Microsoft was doing like real idiotic stuff, such as trying to ban used games and do like all types of wicked anti-consumer stuff that they knew wasn't going to sit well with us. And Sony made sure to go into the PS4 generation saying, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to be very pro-consumer. And look at what the result was for this generation. Sony dominated this generation.
Right.
And this is exactly what Microsoft is doing. This is what they're doing. Man, Sony has no idea what's coming.
Yeah,
wow. Okay.
The rumor will
That's
is true.
enough.
This ain't the only studio that they might be acquiring. So, but anyway, D2K, come on, and then Keith, you got it after him.
Well, this obviously is a huge move for them. I feel it was the move that had to be made. I personally have always looked at the Xbox as the shooters console. I've always looked at Microsoft's consoles that this is where you go for your first-person shooters, and they kind of started off that way with the original Xbox. A lot of you had Halo, you had Quake, you had Unreal Tournament, you had Call of Duty games, all the shooters and people, and you have, what was that, Black, that one shooter game, Black?
Yeah, Black.
That's pretty much where everybody wanted to play first-person shooters, was the Xbox console. So now that they've just added more to their repertoire, just kind of reinforces that. I kind of feel like this is a move that Microsoft absolutely had to make, because if you look at the pecking order before all this happened, and that's not discounting what they've done with the Game Pass, which is tremendous, but that's kind of, to me, in its own category. But just from a console standpoint, Sony obviously was on top, and then you have Nintendo that's kind of like right there behind them with the success of the Switch. The Xbox was all the way in the basement because of so many mistakes that they made in this generation.
Was under the basement, bro.
Way in the basement. They was underground.
They was in the, what was that when you go for escape from a bomb? What you call that? A bunker? What they call that underground? Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that this move was so big that it pushed them all the way up to where where Sony and Nintendo are, and they're right back in the game. They kind of, it's easier for them to push that away. So, okay, yeah, that's all in the past now. What about what's going on in the future? They have so much potential going forward, but I'm not going to give them the credit. I'm not going to hand them the crown just yet, because these things still have to be done. Decisions have to be made. The right decisions have to be made. The decisions have to be made at the right time in order to capitalize on what you have. Because you can have all the talent in the world and still blow it. Just as the 2004 Los Angeles Lakers.
And I think part of that you bring it up, and Keith, I'm finna give it to you, goes into our second conversation. So hold that thought, D2K, because I think what you was talking about goes straight into that second question. But go ahead, Keith.
First of all, we're not gonna have this 2004 Lakers slander. 2004, 2000 was it 6, 7 when we lost a 3-1 lead to Suns? I think that was 2 years in a row we did. Anyway,
just stop it.
Woosa. All right. No. I mean, I don't really know what else to add. I mean, I think D2K was right on the money on his second thing that he was saying was like, yes, this was a huge move by Microsoft to buy Bethesda, but they still got to do the work. They still got to get the games out, because like each one of us on this podcast just said that we're not huge fans of them, but that doesn't mean that we can't become fans. So if they could do the work and get people to, like these buggy games that Bethesda's typically making. Yeah, I said it.
Like these buggy games.
I mean, they typically have a lot of bugs.
They have some issues.
They have issues, but like D2K was trying to say was just, if they still got to do the work. I mean, we already seen what they did with Ninja Theory, and we're getting a new Hellblade, and the game before that was Bleeding Edge, which wasn't all that great.
No, it wasn't.
In my opinion, it wasn't all that great. So, just because they got the talent, like we were just talking about sports. You know what I'm saying? You got the sports. You just, oh man, we got Kwame Brown. We got Kwame, and he's a bust. He's a bust. But I think Microsoft is going to do some great things. In my opinion, I hope that's what I want to see. I mean, it's always been about the games. Anytime that people talk bad about Microsoft, in my opinion, or if I talk bad about Microsoft, it's always been about the games. And they have a huge opportunity. The potential is through the roof. They just got to do the work.
Dude,
let me send a shout out real quick to LT 1984. Welcome to the show, bro. That's LT 1984. Go ahead, K-Bon.
Yeah, no, I'll be really quick. As a Sony fan, and I've said this many, many times, I want to see Xbox do good, because as Jedi will quickly say, competition brings out the better piece of gaming. And if Xbox is killing it, Sony's gonna have to step their game up, and that's why they're putting out their little wannabe Game Pass piece, because they're seeing how well Game Pass is doing. And so if Xbox is killing it and Nintendo's killing it, then Sony gonna have to step their game up. And so I want to see Xbox do good. I'm not wishing for their downfall. As a Sony guy, I want them to do well, because it's gonna make Sony make moves that they probably wouldn't do if they were just kicking everybody's butt.
Okay. I'm going to jump us to the next topic, because I told Jedi we wasn't going to be here as long as we was.
No. I'm on it right now, so we can do everything.
I'm just saying, I can't be on here as long as we was the last time, so I'm trying to get his last topic a good equal about 45 minutes, so we'll be out of here under 2 hours. But I want to say this. Jedi Knight, not Jedi, but D2K brought up a good segue into this next conversation. Now, I want to say before I say that though, Game Pass must be doing crazy. I heard they say they got 13 million subscribers right now. 12 or 13? Is it 15 million?
I believe it.
I heard it like 50 million or something like that, right?
I thought it was like I know it wasn't more than 15. It wasn't 50. If y'all know how many subscribers are subscribed to the Game Pass, put it in the comment section. I think it's between 12 to 15 million. That's what I think it's at right now. I think that's what Phil said. But
Okay, yeah, I'm way off. I got 10 million here.
Okay.
It says 15. It jumped 50% to 15 million.
Okay, thanks, Tiger King. You're right. So it was 15. So that's what that 7.6 billion. They know they finna make all that back when they looking at the numbers. If they got that many people subscribed to Game Pass a month, making that monthly
$9
payment,
a month.
that's a lot of money. Somebody could do the numbers on that if you want to. Plus, if they got
a month, 15 million people.
Plus, if they got the online services and all that, so they probably paying for that too.
150 million a month.
So yeah, they getting all that back.
Give or take, because like the PC still paying $5. I think if you wanted everything, it's like $15, and I think on the Xbox is like 10 plus whatever you got to pay for gold.
Right.
I'm just averaging out 10. So if you take that for a year, that's 1.8 bill.
So they know that they can make that 7.6 back.
Mm-hmm.
That you don't make a gamble like that, not crunching the numbers and looking like, okay,
not crunch. Yeah.
Yeah. They crunched that. They looked at it and said we can make this back, and they know they can make this back over the duration or lifetime of the Xbox Series X. They know they can make all that back and probably then some. So
yeah, then some.
So it goes back to what D2K said. We can't give them the crown yet, even though they have snatched the momentum. It's clear that they snatched the momentum.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
But we can't give them the crown yet. We can't crown them because we don't know who's going to have the crown. This is a new generation. Everything is reset. So, yeah, Sony.
All console sales at 0.
Right. Sony definitely dominated, and you have to give 8th Gen to Sony. Nintendo, I kind of feel like Nintendo is outside the generations right now. They kind of ebb and flow how they choose and please.
They doing Nintendo stuff.
So I don't really add them into the generation because once they made the switch, they kind of leaped generations. Because technically they would have started the 9th generation if we count the Switch as a 9th generation system, which I think the Switch is just whatever Nintendo want to do, they do. And I'm fine with that as a Nintendo fan. Do what y'all want to do. Just keep giving me the triune, the trinity of games. That's Mario, Zelda, and Prime. We good. You know what I'm saying? You can throw Donkey Kong up in there too. But anyway, we ain't talking about Nintendo right now. We talking about Microsoft. D2K made it a very well point, if I said that right. They have to make the right decisions. They made a good purchase. This is a brilliant purchase. Perfect timing. Perfect announcement. They waited. They held that big joker. They saw all the jokers going across the table. They held on for dear life for the last joker. And they threw that big boy out there and trumped everything. This is what they did. Now the question is, and it goes into our second point, how important is first party exclusive? And I'm going to add what D2K said on there. And how should Microsoft deal with these titles and these IPs that they had just acquired? Since he set it up, I'm going to let D2K come in first on this topic. Go ahead, D2.
Well, that is something that I kind of touched on last week. In the group chat, we were talking about this when it actually happened, is that now because they have Bethesda's IPs in their back pocket, that gives them time to refine their strategy on their own first-party titles that they've been working on. They don't really have to rush they've been working on out there now because they already have games that are in the pipeline that Bethesda and its studios and everywhere else has been working on that they can put out there to fill in the gaps until Fable is ready, until Halo is ready, until whatever game they might, Perfect Dark, whatever they could be working on. Now that just gave them time to perfect everything. So now we actually can see the best of the best, and everything that was wrong with what we saw in that Halo trailer, they can fix all that. And now people won't be sitting on tapping around and say, okay, well, where's Halo at? Because you have Doom, or you have Wolfenstein, or you'll have something else, another Fallout game. All this stuff could happen in the meantime to satisfy that first-person shooter itch on your Xbox. So when Halo finally does come, it could be perfection. And now you basically built a nice strong foundation for yourself going forward, and you can take risks on creating new IPs and new games in different genres that you're not necessarily comfortable in, because you got that stuff to fall back on. Say, well, if this doesn't work, then we can still fall back on this, and that. So I do think that they definitely took a huge step forward in terms of the first party exclusives. But with Sony, their first party exclusives have already got the mind share, especially now.
Right.
However, I did see something today that kind of made me have a little bit of pause.
Okay, that's what you were saying.
Yeah, I watched a Digital Foundry video, and they were talking about Demon Souls for the PlayStation 5.
Right.
And they were showing gameplay footage of it and breaking it down. And the game looks absolutely gorgeous. It looks impressive, looks amazing. I mean, Sony has the ability to, and this is what they do. They have the ability to basically make you feel like you're playing a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just drops you inside of a movie and you can control the character in the movie. That's what Sony games feel like to me, all of them.
Right. And
I was looking, this game looks great. But then they said the words, this game is running at 1440p at 60 frames per second. And if you want 4K, it's going to go down to 30 frames per second.
What did I say last week? I told y'all. What did I say last week? 30 frames are still what we talking. Go ahead, dog.
And I said, what? What? So you're telling me that this game, as gorgeous as it looks right now, can run on a $300 Xbox Series S?
Yeah.
That just floored me when I saw that. I'm like 4K 60 frames per second minimum on both consoles should be there. Series X and PlayStation 5. Sure. Minimum. Facts. 4K 60.
Facts.
If you want to say, okay, 2K or 1440p at 120 frames per second on the PlayStation 5, okay. I mean, I can see that. I still think there's enough horsepower in there. They should be able to do it, but hey, I don't know everything. But that just like, are you serious? I mean, the game looks amazing, but there's a console that's coming out that's going to be $200 cheaper that can do the same thing. And that is a first-party title from Sony. So I'm like, that is a problem right there.
Yeah, everybody's running into finding out that ray tracing is more expensive computably than they thought, and that's why all these games are dropping down to 30 instead of being run at 60.
Right. Let me send this shout out to Zilla Times 2. Thank you for that information that you shared. But go ahead, K-Bone. You were saying?
No, that's my only point I wanted to say.
Okay, let me jump in here and then I bring you in, Keith. D2K, that's interesting. I didn't know that's where you was finna go, because I know last week some of our opinions on the show was that I know Jedi was of the opinion that the $2.99 system was amazing. I know K-Bun was like he was kind of unsure where the $2.99 system would fit with the PlayStation 5 discless version being only $100 more, and I kind of was torn. But I was looking at that 1440p as like, bro, but that's 1440p. Like, and you kind of said it last week, DJK, that honestly, when you looking at it, you can't really tell the difference between the two, and both look visually stunning. So with that revelation that you said, I didn't see. I saw you post. I think you posted that Digital Foundry. Did you post that Digital Foundry video? I thought you did.
I don't think so. I think I intended to, but I don't think I did.
Okay, I didn't see it. That's what I was going to say. But I'm interested in going back and watching that, because that's the type of stuff that stands out to me as well. Like I said last week, 30 frames per second is still going to be the spot they looking to hit with the 4K. They're not moving on from 30 frames per second. You ain't gonna get 60 frames per second unless you're doing 1080p or that 1440, which that's what I was saying last week. That's still the standard, and that's still the sweet spot. You can get the more beautiful scenery, but you gonna have to settle for a smaller frame rate. So that's good information right there. But let me bring Keith in here and let him add to this. Go ahead, Keith.
All right, so the original question is how important is first parties?
Hold up. You sounded like Bane again.
Can you hear me now?
No, you still sound like him. You still sound like you finna take over Gotham, bro. What did you do that last time? Did you unplug and plug back in?
I don't know my mic. What I sound like now?
Just a sec. I'm getting my name getting screamed and everything. I'm on the podcast, boo boo. You can't say my public's name. My government's in the live chat. People don't need. This is level, Mrs. Level. What you say, boo boo? What you say? Why was the alarm set if you heard? Mike must.
That boy about to yell that on live.
She's asking me why the alarm was set if I'm here. I was like, Mike must have put it on. My son, I use his governments, but my son must have put it on. But are you back, Keith?
Yeah, can y'all hear me now?
Dang, you still sound like it. I don't know what that is. Right. Let me bring K-Bum on this, and then I'll get you back. Go ahead, K-Bum.
All right, so the topic is about first party. I mean, exclusives.
Yes, and kind of added in what D2K kind of brought in as well. Like Microsoft got to make the right decision. So how important? So let's officially start it. How important is first party exclusives? And then the second part is, and how should Microsoft manage these new acquired IPs when it comes to making them exclusive or not?
Well, I thought there was some chatter about a month or so ago that probably a little more than that that exclusives were anti-consumers. I thought the consumerism. I thought that was the whole chatter people were trying to say that exclusives were anti-consumer. That's some nonsense if you ask me. I think the thing is you have to have something to make people say, I want an Xbox instead of a PlayStation, or I want a PlayStation instead of a Nintendo system, or I want a Nintendo system instead of any of these systems. If they're all playing the same exact games, what do you have to make someone buy your system and not the other? And exclusives are one of the main ways to do that. So no, I don't think they're anti-consumer. I think that's one of the ways that you can actually get people to buy your system, and I think it's a good way. I don't really see issue with it. If you want to play the game, then get the system. That's the whole point. And in that note, I believe that that first party exclusives are huge. So for me personally, I have bought an Xbox in each generation. And the reason why I bought an Xbox in each generation is because there was something on that system that I could not get on my PlayStation. The first time for the 360 is because they had Mass Effect, which was at that point in time owned by, which was BioWare, which at that point in time was owned by Microsoft. And there was no indication at that point in time it was going to come to the PlayStation. And I knew I wanted to play this game. And I knew if I had to play this game, I was going to have to get an Xbox. So I got an Xbox just to play Mass Effect.
And then EA ruined that studio. Go ahead.
And I cannot really. I'm not going to deny that because EA they have a part in all that. Yeah. And then again this year, and it's funny because there was a Game Pass like system on the Xbox. That the EA Access, which gave you early access to EA games, and I played the sports games for EA, and Sony didn't really have those, didn't really have that access, that early access you can get by having it was like a Game Pass like thing for EA, and that's what actually is now tied into the Game Pass is that EA Access or EA Origin is what it's called, and Sony didn't have it, so I knew if I wanted to play these games early or have the exclusivity, I was going to have to get an Xbox system. So I 100% believe and support in first-party exclusive. I think they're a huge deal, and I believe, like Nintendo, that if Nintendo didn't have these first party exclusives, which kill better than any other game in the system, I mean, then what do you really have as Nintendo? So I think they're huge. I think they're important. I think they're good. I think they're good for gaming. It allows people to get out of their comfort zone, try new systems. I'm in support. So what should Xbox do with theirs? I'm just going to piggyback off what I believe D2K said. I think this is awesome. I think it does give them time to get their games right. Their first party, having this exclusive deal, we don't know what aspect it is, but having this deal with Bethesda and having these games that they can use, like you said, it's already in the pipeline, gives them time to get Craig looking correct. Right?
let me send this shout out. Let me send this shout out to Sim Zim. Welcome to the show, and Raging Banana DK. Welcome to the show. What's good? We're talking these games. But Keith, you ready? K-Bum threw that quick little jab in there. Go ahead, Keith. Man, you still doing it.
I'm baiting.
Yeah, you still baiting.
Let's see.
There it is. You sound good now. What you do? Oh, that wasn't you. Okay. So,
nope.
Okay, so let me bring Jedi. Let me bring Jedi in, then I'll get you the next one. See if we get it right that time. If not, you just have to go with the bang sound because I want to hear what you got. Come on, Jedi. How important is first party exclusive, and what should Microsoft do now that they have acquired all these IPs? Because I got a lot to say on this. Go ahead.
I think it's the most important thing. As everybody, I would assume, would agree. When you purchase a console, you are purchasing a console based on what it can provide you. When you're talking about third-party or multi-platform games, then that is an added bonus. But when you buy a Nintendo system, you're buying Nintendo for Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, Mario 3D, or the side-scrolling Mario. You're buying it for Zelda. You're buying it for Splatoon, Pokemon, for example. If you're going through Sony's, exactly, Animal Crossing. When you see, and the list goes on. Like, I didn't even think of Metroid, and these are the things that people buy the console for. If you're buying a Sony console, you're buying it for Sony games. If you're buying a Microsoft console, you're buying it for Microsoft games. If you're buying a console for Call of Duty, then you have a plethora of options. It's not a specific reason. If you have a PC, you can just download Steam. If you don't have a powerful PC, or if you just want a console, then you can just pick a console. If you're a Madden player, or if you're just a casual gamer like myself, where it's like, well, I'm semi-casual. I still, prefer Nintendo, but to the core, I am a casual gamer. But to casual gamers who are only playing sports games, they don't really have an allegiance to a particular console, because all consoles, for the most part, provide them their fix. So for really true gamers, people who are looking for a particular experience, then exclusives is absolutely necessary, because it defines what your console is going to provide these gamers. And if you don't have an identity, then what will occur is you're going to have the narrative, such as what Microsoft had this generation with, well, yeah, you have the most powerful Xbox, One, but you don't have any games. And though they have a ton of games, a lot of those games are available on other consoles. So the statement is true. So it's very important.
Okay. Keith, you in here? Let me see what you sound like.
I'm here. I'm using my webcam. Can y'all hear me?
That sounds better.
That's much better.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Go ahead.
All right. Man, solutions. Okay. First party titles are extremely important. I mean, that's the identity of your console. It's kind of like.
Go ahead. I gotta handle my daughter.
Okay. It's kind of like with Mario, Mario, Zelda, anything that you're playing. I mean, what's the purpose of even buying a Switch if I'm buying it to play Witcher? No, I'm buying it so I can play the next Mario, the next Zelda, the next such and such. That's why I'm buying it. And if those other games come, that's just icing on the cake, or should I say, first party is icing on the cake, because the meat of the games are your third party games. But the whole purpose is those first party exclusives. And so far, Microsoft hasn't, for me anyways, hasn't given me anything compelling. So when we talk about exclusives, that's why they're always on the bottom of the list, because to me they don't deliver on the same scale as a Sony or Nintendo. I don't even play all of Sony's, but the few that I do play, I think they're incredible. Like The Last of Us, just to name one off the top of my head. So what I hope Microsoft does with their exclusives, or with Bethesda and all the other studios they bought that we saw on one of those E3s, it was 17, 18.
Right.
Yeah, let's talk about that too. I hope that they come up with some compelling titles, some games that really give the Xbox an identity and say, yo, this is why I'm buying an Xbox, not because I can play a bunch of games. Because, you got to consider us. We're all older. We're in our 30s, 40s. We got families. We got jobs. So we're going to pick one or two good games. And if you can't provide us one or two good games, and we got to play all of these, I don't play games like that anymore. I can only speak for myself. I don't play games like that anymore. Game Pass is cool, but I'm not finna go through and try. I got other stuff to do. So I'm going to be looking for that big game. And a lot of times Microsoft don't deliver that big game. Or if they do have a big game, Crackdown, it's
y'all endless with these jabs, boy. They be coming out of nowhere too.
You said at E3 and said the power of the cloud, and we see it. But nah, man, I think you should have it all, and I think this is why Sony's been winning generations after generation after generations, because they've been having it all. They've been giving you the sports, the adventure, their movie quality type games, and just all the other Japanese third party. They've always had it all, and Microsoft is starting to, I guess, realize that. And I don't know if anybody saw their Japanese show that they had. And they had a few other games that they didn't show in the U.S. that was specific to the Japanese audience. They look pretty cool. Okay. So I think they're getting their head around. We need to be more overall, and we also need to have Jordan. Sometimes we got to have Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. We got to throw them out there too. But I'm just saying, you got to have those big names.
Right, and I'm with you.
And like Halo hasn't been that, and then this showing that they just showed us, Craig, wasn't all that great. So it's like, you have all the pieces. They have all the momentum. They just made a huge chess play move. Show us. Right. That's it.
Okay, so let me jump in here, then we can go a little farther with it. First of all, I don't know if it was K-Bum or Jedi. I think it was K-Bum who said, no, I think all of y'all said it, but I think K-Bum kind of stood out to me. No, it was Jedi who said it. Why I buy Nintendo platforms and why I prefer Nintendo the way I do is because of the first party. And my second system to the Nintendo has been Sony because of their first party. Not that I don't look, if I can get it on Xbox and Sony, it can't play that much of a role in my purchasing choice unless the PlayStation or the Xbox is going to offer me a better version of that particular title. And that was the case a few times too, because Sony was offering the better version of said title, multi-plat, over Sony this generation, and the generation prior that was switched. Microsoft had the better of the offer. Like I think about Bayonetta. If you play Bayonetta, the original Bayonetta on the Xbox, it plays really, really well and really good. You play it on the PlayStation, it's trash. I remember buying it. I got that game for $9 used and brought it home on the PlayStation. And I heard that it wasn't a good version, but I was like, I can't be that bad. Yeah, it was that bad. I took it right back. Give me my $9. I bought it from Best Buy. From Blockbuster. I said, give me my $9 and take this game back. I got something else. I can't remember what I got. So multiplats never have caused me to buy a system. It's always been the first party offering, and that's why Microsoft has been lower on my total poll, like Keith said, because of what they offer from a first party standpoint. Like Gears of War, I love Gears of War, and when I had the Xbox 360, that was literally 60% of the titles I had was all Gears of War titles. I had all the Gears of Wars. And little outside of that first party wise. And then I had the PlayStation 2. I had Uncharted. I had the PlayStation 3. I had Uncharted 2. I had Uncharted 3. I had I think I had Ratchet and Clank. I had Madden on there because of my boy K-Bum and the at that time, man, y'all don't know K-Bum. He used to do the online Madden tournaments, man. I was in there. He got me on there. I was handling my business until I ran up against him and his brother. Then I was realizing that I wasn't good at Madden. But anyway, that's neither here or there. But but I had Tekken. I had all that stuff that I was used to being on Sony. I still bought on Sony. Remember, Tekken only came on Sony. Grand Theft Auto only came on Sony. That's what made Sony what it was. So first party is, and it always boggles my mind when people say you don't buy a system for first party. Like, well, what reason do you buy it? If I'm not buying it for God of War, if I'm not buying it for Last of Us, if I'm not buying it for what's the other one? Uncharted. Why am I buying it? Because that's why I'm buying it. I bought the PlayStation 3 for Uncharted 2. When I saw Uncharted 2, that Christmas it was not gonna pass without me having the PlayStation 3 in my house. I couldn't live with. I was like, I gotta get that game. That game, like D2K said, is like playing a movie. Like they dropped you into a movie. So, first party exclusives is very important. Ask Nintendo. Nintendo is still in the game. They're able to sell you a weaker system. Nintendo ain't talking about teraflops because they don't have many. Hold up, man. I need to say that again. I felt that one. Listen, yo. I'm the Nintendo guy. I'm the Nintendo guy. They don't talk about flops because they don't have much to flop about. So they ain't gonna talk about it. So, but
it has one teraflop.
One teraflop. Barely. So
it's not even plural.
They can't put the S on it. So anyway, but we there for them games though. We there, like Keith said. And Jedi said it so articulate. We there for Mario. We there for Zelda. We there for Splatoon. We there for some of us there for Animal Crossing. I bought Animal Crossing, but I ain't there for Animal Crossing. He said level. Simpson said level don't start. Dude, Sim, you know I got to tell the truth. This is coming. If anybody gonna say it on the show, I get to say it because me and Keith and Jedi are the Nintendo guys on the show, so we get to talk about Nintendo. Nintendo ain't throwing up no power. They ain't turning no heads with power, but they turn head with that first party exclusive though, and it keeps them selling weaker systems with terrible online, and we still there every generation to buy what they offer. Why? Because I gotta play that Mario, I gotta play that Zelda, and I hope Metro Prime come this generation, and I hope they bring back Wave Race, and I hope they bring back this, and I hope they fix Star Fox. That's what we talk about. We ain't talking about no third party, nothing. Matter of fact, the Switch is the first time we've seen this much third party. Why? Because we only bought the first party. That was the whole thing. They don't buy third party on Nintendo. So Nintendo is prime example of how powerful first party is.
Right.
Sony is the second testament to that. Sony has spent generations since I would say the PlayStation 3. Sony had went to me turned a new leaf in trying to create their own destination for first party titles. Like God
of War 2. God of War was on a PS2 first.
I know, but God of War was one. But to me they really started making an effort with first party and with PlayStation 3, and they kind of yielded third party to Microsoft that generation. since the cell processors are so hard to develop for, we're going to develop the first party, improve our system. That's where Uncharted came from, proving that the cell processor was what it was, and nothing on Microsoft could compete with it. Period. I don't care what none of y'all say. Could nothing on the Microsoft system compete with Uncharted at the level what Uncharted was doing, Uncharted 2 was doing at that time. That game was ahead of its time when it came out. That's still a tremendous testament in gaming to this day. So, Microsoft, their problem is first party. That's their problem. So, if you got these titles, to me, it behooves you. And I said this in the game, in the hangout. Me, Keith, and all of us were talking about this, and I'm gonna bring it to the table here. To me, it behooves Microsoft to play hardball and make Doom, either if it ain't exclusive outright, a very long time exclusive. Like you want this, you're gonna have to play it here first. Like they did with the deal they worked out with Square Enix with Tomb Raider. Remember, Tomb Raider was exclusive to Microsoft system for a year before it came to Sony.
Yep, a whole year.
I would do that with all after those deals that Sony inked with Bethesda prior to the acquisition. I will honor that, and I'll be honest with you, boy, y'all better be Jedi. Don't hire me because I hurt some Sony fans' feelings. Don't hire me, Jedi. I will be talking like Phil talking. And two of those systems come out and I'll be like, we changed our mind. And y'all can say, Microsoft lied. Like y'all said, Sony lied. I would change my mind. I would pivot.
You ain't getting nothing.
I pivot, be like, you know what? What's that game that y'all named that's exclusive to Sony right now?
Deathloop.
Deathloop. Yeah, I said it was going to be exclusive. We changed our mind. We want that for the Xbox Series X and S right now. We decided we don't want Sony to have that. And we gonna pay Sony because Microsoft got the money. We gonna play Sony off. We gonna give them their little money for what they lost. And if you want to play that, you got to come over here. That's what I would do. And I take what D2K said. I hope that Microsoft has it within them to know when and where not to be so kind and friendly. And what's the word y'all love? Customer. What's the saying they was using?
Man.
What is
you
it?
You would have said customer, I would have had it.
We're consumer friendly.
Consumer friendly. There it is. Sometimes you could be consumer friendly, but you could be stingy to your competitors. So I might even boot Nintendo out of this situation. Look, or be spiteful and put it on Nintendo. Be like, Sony, nah, you got to wait. So that's how I look at it. I'll let y'all. I said let Keith come in here, and then DJ you come after him and then Jedi you got it after that.
I mean, the only pushback I would say to that, while you just put in your resume for Microsoft, is that are these games good enough on their own? I mean, that's something to consider. Like I'm still on the team. I'm still on the team of let them fly, so I can get all the money.
They gonna get all them. They gonna get all them. Oh, well, finish your thought. I'm interrupting you. I apologize. Go ahead.
I still want to see from Microsoft Studios something completely brand new. And I think that's what it is. It's like, yes, that's cool. It's kind of like with Bayonetta. That's dope that Nintendo went out and bought Bayonetta. But we ain't really talking about it. We just think it's dope that they went and rescued a series. But it was already an existing series. A series that wasn't on Nintendo's platform, but it ain't that new Nintendo game. And that's, I guess, what I'm trying to hold Microsoft to. I see what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? You want to play Bethesda, you're a Bethesda fan, buy the Xbox or get the PC. I get it. That's how you can drive up your sales or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. And I let that money build up on the PlayStation 4, PC, wherever you want to play it. I'm pocketing the money.
Right, and I know, and I agree with. I wouldn't do it that way, but I understand if they was to do it that way, I wouldn't have no problem with them doing that way. Only outside of me, I just want to see them be like, look, I got this. This is mine. What you want? How much you gonna pay me to get it, Sony? How much you want Nintendo? I know we've been cool and I've been playing nice with you because I had to at that time. But hey, you want this? You want this? You want us to go through all that to put Doom on your system? You want us to let you get panic button, and how much you willing to pay? Like that's where I'm at with it. So, because I think with them acquiring it, you're not going to see as many bugs as we've seen before. I think Microsoft will deal with that bug issue that Bethesda had. I don't think you will see that no more. I don't think they allow that to go out like that under Microsoft's umbrella. I just don't. But the time will tell the truth on that. But to me, this is one of them times where since Sony gonna come out and lie about what they do, Keith? What Sony do?
They lied, man. They lied.
So since Sony lied about the whole cross-gen stuff and at the last minute let it be known that they doing the same thing Sony doing, hey, two wrongs don't make it right. But hey, Microsoft, go ahead, be like, we lied about this whole, we're going to honor these contracts. We decided that it'd be better for us to pull this into our own fold and use it ourselves. And Sony, hey, I'm sorry. Like, hey, we got to do what we got to do. You got to figure out something else to carry you until Ratchet and Clank come out. So I'm going to throw it over to D2K, and then I'm going to come to Jedi, and then K-Bum, you take it after Jedi. And then we end this conversation.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the comment section here, and they're basically saying that we're just dumping a truckload of hate on Microsoft without any valid reason.
What we hate?
What we hating? That was last. Wait a minute, y'all. Y'all on the wrong podcast. We ended that conversation last week. Y'all 7 days late. What you talking about? But anyway, go ahead.
But anyway, yeah, I don't think that they can jump out of their contracts now. It would cause a serious litigation issue. But I think that going forward, and it has to make sense. It has to be something that they can look at and say, does it really make sense for us to let Nintendo have this IP or Sony have this IP on their console? Because all the money is coming back to Microsoft anyway, so it doesn't really make any difference. I think that there are certain titles or certain IP that they've acquired that should only be available on Xbox platforms, such as Elder Scrolls and Doom and Fallout. The big heavyweight titles should be exclusive no matter what to Microsoft. Now, some of the smaller things, yeah, you can still let those things float out there because, again, you're still making all the money, and that's the whole point, is to make money. And you got a much larger install base if you have a game that's on your console and on the PlayStation 5 and on the Switch and on the PC and on mobile. That's all that money's coming to you. So it makes a lot of sense to keep that window open, but still keep the really hardcore heavyweight titles exclusive to your consoles. That way people can say, I'm going to buy Series X because of Doom, because of Elder Scrolls 6, because of the new Fallout, because of, some new IP that maybe the Bethesda have been working on, but they haven't announced yet. That's where I'm going to play that. It's, it doesn't even make any sense to say that exclusive titles are anti-consumer, because it's like saying that, Burger King and McDonald's shouldn't have the Big Mac or the Whopper. If you go outside, you want a hamburger, then, you're just going to go to the first place that sells them. But if you have a specific desire for a Big Mac, you're going to go find a McDonald's. If you want a Whopper, you're going to go find a Burger King. So that's the reason why you have exclusive titles, so that people can seek your device over the other devices that are out there.
Okay. Yeah. I apologize if I sound distracted, because I am. I was reading some of the comments to kind of hear what you were saying, but what I mean when I say new, it ain't necessarily meaning never been made before new. I mean the next, like, okay, if Uncharted 2 came out, I want to see the next Uncharted. I don't want to get a remake of Uncharted. I want to see Uncharted 3. I want to see Uncharted 4. I want to see Galaxy 1, And then I want to see Odyssey. I want to see, I'm just bringing it home. I want to see Skyward Sword. Then I want to see Breath of the Wild. See what I mean? That's what I mean by new. Like, Sony might not have created a new IP. Nintendo might have not created a new IP in years outside of Splatoon and a few others. But they still give you new Mario titles, new Zelda titles. They not remaking the same Zelda and calling it like Madden do. I mean, did I say that? No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have did that. But that's neither here nor there. But Microsoft, to me, they're in a good spot. They answer some of my concerns with them. To me, they definitely have seized the momentum. They definitely have put themselves in a good spot with acquiring Bethesda and all the other studios that they got. To me, now it goes to what D2K said. The exclusive game is where it's at. Microsoft doesn't have compelling first-party titles. Let me say it like that. To me, Gears of War is pretty much the only first-party title that really appeals to me from Microsoft. I'm not a Halo fan. I have never really been a Halo fan, but I know Halo is a big title. Crackdown would have, if it, like Keith Norris would have said, actually lived up to the hype and the cloud-based abilities that they talked about at that time. I was looking forward to Crackdown, but Crackdown cracked out, and we didn't get what we thought we was getting. Jedi brought up Forza. To me, Forza is, if you're an Xbox guy, you get Forza. If you are trying to pick what system you want, I don't think Forza appeals to you, because I don't think you buy a new system for a racing title. That's not me. Unless it's Mario Kart, then we might have a conversation. But
that's usually a bundle, so
yeah. So Forza don't do it for me, even though Forza shows off the capability of the system, which most racing games can do that. I don't know why that is, but racing games seem to. D2K or Jedi, y'all might be, or Keith, y'all might be able to explain, or K-Bum, you might be able to explain why racing games are so are used to show off the power of system. Why they're able to do that? Is it because the assets are not as they don't take up as much assets or something? I don't know why that is, but racing games seem to be always the type of game they use to show off the power of a system.
Well, it's not a lot of moving parts to it. Like, you can isolate the car. They were talking about how they were having ray tracing on just the car, right? You didn't have to have it on any other place except for the reflection on the car, and the entire environment. You have that realistic type. I forget what they call it, but it's like the real world you're looking at, not a computer generated thing. That I forget, what are they named? The game developer. I can't.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think Star Wars did that for their Battlefront game. They took like pictures and then took those pictures and
took those assets
of like real rocks and
yes.
Older, and then they implemented it in the world, and this is why the game looks so realistic.
Yep. They use that for the background, so you're actually looking at pictures of actual mountains. So there's a lot of stuff they can get away with the draw distances with the racing games that you can't when you're doing like a fighting game or a shooter, when you have a lot more moving parts on the screen and you can't isolate and concentrate. A lot of the graphics are like inside of the car or the outside place of the car with the ray tracing. So that's one of the reasons why they kind of do that, because it works really well.
Okay.
And I would argue AI for doing a car is a lot simpler than having 10 characters on screen doing different things at the same time. Like, you're just driving a car.
Right. So you don't have to have all the animations that you would have to have to I guess, to replicate a moving body, I guess. So.
And also, you're not representing a human.
Right.
And so we can tell when a human's off. Can we tell when a car's off? I don't know if we can.
That's interesting. That because when Jedi said that last week, I had to. He made me pause. Like, he's right. I mean, Forza did look amazing. It did, but Forza racing games have never drawn me to buying a platform. But that's me personally. I'm not saying for other folks. And I know Forza sells well, but I think Forza sells well for people who know they're gonna buy Xbox. They get the Forza title, but. I think Microsoft needs to establish a first party library of titles that are appealing to and attractive to non-Xbox people, and by acquiring Bethesda, Doom, and all the other titles, the AAA, AA titles that they have, some of them titles, man, I will make exclusive. I'm sorry, it'll have exclusive or timed exclusive on my system, because I know Keith saying get the money everywhere. Yeah, we can get it later. We get it everywhere later. We go get it right here for right now, and then divvy it out later and get that money over there for people who still said I'm not coming over there. Then I get your dollars and sell it for $59.99 and be selling it for $30 on the Xbox. That's how shrewd I'll be working. I'm just telling you the truth. Sony fans will be mad at me, boy, because I'd be like, oh yeah. It's 30 on the Xbox, but it's $59.99 for the same. Hey, you wait, it's old on the PlayStation. It's new for y'all. You know, it's new over there, so we need to get this new money. So, but that's what I would do. And I know y'all want us to talk about Nintendo. We'll talk about Nintendo the next time we do the podcast, because there is a lot of rumors about. And D2K discovered something, we won't talk about it. But if what he discovered pans out to be possible, I want D2K to talk about it. He discovered it first. Before Dr. Trey found it, D2K found this. He wasn't on LinkedIn. He wasn't on LinkedIn. I'm messing with you, D2. But yeah, anybody else, Jedi, you want to have anything else to say on this, or whoever want to take it, y'all can have it. That's where I'm at with it. I think they need to take these titles. And some of these titles, the major titles, they should consider making first party timed exclusive or exclusive outright. That's how I would play it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would make them all year exclusives, like all of them at minimum. Some of them can be total exclusives to where you can only get it within the Microsoft ecosystem. And then if you feel like you have games that are just universally captivating to where you know that they'll sell no matter where they go, then make it a year exclusive within the Microsoft ecosystem, and then put them on Sony, put them on Steam. If the Switch can get a version of that game, then put it on the Switch as well. I mean, look, you're not gonna pay all that money to just continue to let things be the way they are. Then that doesn't really benefit your brand, your ecosystem. And the bottom line is they're making these purchases, these acquisitions to support their ecosystem. If they're going to do that, then it defeats the purpose of just keeping things the same. The bottom line is many of these games that Bethesda and its software create are popular games. So making that a closed environment is just a benefit for Microsoft. But on a side note, something that I think we kind of touched on lightly, but not specifically. These are a lot of veteran, experienced developers that Microsoft has access to. So Bethesda can help them with their IPs, their first-party titles, such as Sea of Thieves. I remember on Xbox, Bethesda was in charge of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
You don't know if the people are still around, but the bottom line is the company itself could then take some of that experience and say, hey, look, we can see what we can do on a game that was highly anticipated for Microsoft and kind of fell on its face on Sea of Thieves. So there's a lot of opportunity. I think there's so many things that Microsoft can do, but one of them, they should make this a situation to where it benefits the Xbox brand, and the only way to do that is to make these games available only for Xbox. If other console or gaming platforms want to have the game, wait a year and you'll have it.
I agree. Who else want to add before we get out of here? Make your final appeal, then we call this a podcast. K-Bum, you got anything to add to that?
No. Well, yeah, just quickly. Did anyone
did the Xbox all sell out? I didn't really
Yes,
hear.
it did.
Yeah,
They all
yeah.
sold out. All right,
Yep.
cool.
In Germany, the Xbox One X is sold out. The Xbox One S is still available on Amazon. I can't
Really?
find the X anywhere. Yeah.
Interesting. I did want to add a funny point. So it's not really about this, but it's a funny note. And I sent this to the live our little chat. But you guys see that the percentages of Xbox with the Xbox One X was jumped 200%.
After
That
the
people were
Bethesda.
Oh yeah, I heard.
no, not the Xbox Series X. The Xbox
The
One
Xbox
X
yeah,
One
yeah,
X.
yeah.
jumped 200% because people were buying it, thinking they
But
were
is it-
buying a new console.
Wow.
I think that's
But is it really a
intentional,
problem?
though.
You know,
Is that really a
you know
problem?
what's so crazy?
Oh, no, it's a problem. It's a problem if you think you were getting the new next gen console.
But isn't this what Microsoft wanted you to be able to play the games any and everywhere?
No, people weren't buying it because of.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
I got the joke. I got it. I
think
I
that
got
played into the. I think that plays into the intention. I think they knew that was gonna happen.
the name.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Nintendo
I think
did too with
that
the Wii
as
U.
well.
I think they knew they was gonna sell some Wii's because of the lack of knowledge of like a casual, not because I don't. Even though me and D2, me and Jedi would say we casual. We really ain't casual because we actually keep up with what's going on in game. We just
Right.
just ain't K-Bum, you know what I'm saying? We ain't hardcore like K-Bum. my boy go hard in the game. He really I give him his kudos. But they know they know the mom and the pop who ain't really following this stuff gonna see an Xbox. They son gonna be like, I want the Xbox Series X. They gonna go on the Xbox One X. Okay, that's what he want. It said X at the end, and there it is. They just sold. Because I told prime example. I'm bringing it up. Hopefully he don't listen to this, but my boy I ain't gonna say his name. K-Bum, you know who I'm talking about. I tell you off air.
I'll probably pick it up.
Well, one of my peoples. No, you ain't gonna know who this is.
Oh, okay.
One of my peoples bought his significant other. His wife bought him the Xbox One S. So I was like, bro, you might want to hold off because they got the new Xbox systems coming out literally in a month. Bro, you can get the Xbox Series X for the same price and be future-proof, 440p, 1440p, all the bells and the whistles for the same price. He was like, it ain't no big deal. So I went and looked at the price. I didn't know that the Xbox One S was still $299. Am I wrong on that? I
That's
think
funny.
I'm not
That's
sure. I
foul.
haven't even
That's
checked.
right.
look it up. I looked it up and it said $299. I was like, bro, literally in a month you can have the brand new system for $299. That's crushing it, but they didn't care. It one day I was like, man, they got the new.
That's crazy.
They got the new NBA 2K21, 2K21.
Yeah,
like,
GameStop
bro.
is still selling it for $300.
Right. And I'm like, bro, so they know people who don't follow this close and don't understand, and ain't no knock to him. He fine. He's like, hey, he ain't worrying about it, but I'm like, I am. Do it for me, cuz. Yeah. Do that for me, cuz. Don't get that system. Wait, man. Just wait a month. Cause you gonna have the same dollars you could put in a new system be future proof.
Yeah.
Microsoft know people gonna do that. Sony them, all of them know. Sony
do that.
does say 5, 4, and 3. So
They at least they got a monkey over there in Xbox naming stuff.
I remember one time I went into I was in Best Buy and a lady was there and she was trying to buy a Mario Kart for the Wii U for the Wii. She was like, she thought she could buy the gamepad and Mario Kart for the Wii. I was like, no, ma'am. The people at the store wasn't helping at all. At the time, Nintendo was Microsoft at that time. Nintendo was trash. They threw Nintendo. They had one little aisle for Nintendo at that time. And she was in there. I was like, man, I went over there. I felt so bad because I'm like, man, I'm the only person in here who care about Nintendo and people who like Nintendo. Let me help this woman. I was like, well, lady, you got to buy the Wii U. Wii U. I can't just buy the gamepad and Mario. I was like, no, the gamepad is the Wii U. No, that's just an accessory to the Wii. I was like, no, it's a whole new system. She was disappointed. I was like, Nintendo, you knew people were gonna be doing this crap, but I'm pretty sure a lot of folks got some Wii's under the Christmas tree that was upset that year. But anyway,
You got some weed? What'd you say?
oh,
Some
Wii,
Stay off the Wii.
I. But yeah, anybody else got anything else to add to this?
That's a
should we
real
call it
Christmas.
quit? Yeah, that was a real Christmas right there.
Yeah, actually, I got something to add to that.
Go ahead.
When I first heard the names for the series of Microsoft Next Gen consoles, I thought about it myself. Like, wow, why would they make the names so similar? Though I didn't make a big deal about it. But as a side note, this is just what I see in the gaming community. It's funny how I really didn't see anybody speak about this. But if Nintendo did this, such as with the Wii and the Wii U, it was a complete topic of discussion, and how it was going to cause so many issues. And then seeing how the issues occurred with people buying the incorrect consoles this past week, it just made me sit there and say to myself, like, you know what, there's a lot of favoritism in the gaming community for sure. Because, yeah, people talk about these consoles, but for the most part, you know, I didn't really hear anybody really clowning or getting in or going in on Microsoft for the naming of these consoles. And it's really identical. The Xbox One X and the Series X, you can really get that confused. And I thought that was more confusing than the Wii and the Wii U. It kind of felt like the Wii U was a graduating thing there. These two names, you really couldn't tell the difference with. But that's just my 2 cents.
I would say there was discussion about the name of the Xbox Series X, but it wasn't near to the level of the scrutiny that Nintendo got for the Wii U from the Wii. But there was people out there.
All right, cool. Because I surely didn't hear it.
Yeah, it wasn't. They wasn't as scrutinized, but we talked about it on here a few times. Like, that's gonna be confusing. And I know other podcasts did too. They didn't understand why Microsoft would keep the name so close. But like I said, they sold out of the Xbox Series X because the educated folks bought it. But the uneducated folks also went in there. Oh yeah, man, I got my son. They probably could hear them talking to their friends. Yeah, I just bought my son the Xbox, that new Xbox. And they gonna open that mug. That's gonna be the most hated Christmas of all time. Pops, what is this? It's the new Xbox. No, it's not.
Yeah,
it's
Pops
a series, not one. Huh?
Go back up to the store with the thing. So like, hey man,
Yeah.
y'all sold me this wrong Xbox.
And I'll get all my money back and put it down towards that. But anyway, Keith, you got anything to add? Are we done?
I'm good.
Okay. So I'll let y'all get y'all final exits. I'll start with you, Mr. Norris. Go ahead.
Oh man, it was good catching up, bringing back that energy from last podcast. You know what I'm saying? Xbox always wins. No, I'm just playing. That's all I got.
Go ahead, Jedi.
It's a pleasure, guys. 2 weeks in a row. Feels good, and definitely I'll be here next week. Real quick, I know K-Bomb be playing it a lot, the NBA 2K20. I heard something on Twitter today about on 2K21, dudes are out here buying modded controllers.
Yes,
to get
sir.
perfect. Bruh.
Yes, sir.
What is happening, man?
Yep. They changed
I just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, as always, gentlemen, good discussion.
All right, D2K.
You know I don't do
I
this
know,
level.
I'm messing with you.
You tried him.
Before I get you in, K-Bum, I want to say what they said down here. It said, Tiger King said, Microsoft had a computer come up with the name, and that's what it came up with. If Microsoft did that, if that's legit and they went with that name, Microsoft and Phil Spencer all don't need to be slapped. Go ahead, K-Bum.
No, man, it's just Phoenix Star that town. We're talking about Sony lied. That's the Phoenix Star. No, man, it was legit, man. It's good to have everybody up in here, man. Have the whole crew up in the podcast, man. Especially with, like I said, we should have had that conversation we had earlier. We should put that on the live. So yeah, I can hear our foolish level be up here talking to us. He straighten all up when he get online.
You know I got the final word, don't you? You know I get to talk last. So
I know you.
Tread lightly, K-Bone. Tread lightly. But but again,
it's good to get
go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's good to get everybody here, man. I'm always excited to hear Jedi, man. I love my boy D2K coming up with brand new words. I love it. And keep
I don't know if I'm inventing words, but
in my dictionary, you are, because I ain't never heard them. Oh man, I love and keep me popping in with the sayings though. That's my boy though. I love my boy. So no, it's good, man. It's good. I enjoy myself, man. Y'all take it easy.
And I want to send a shout out to Tiger King again. Yeah, man, I appreciate you loving the song Live and Leveled. But yeah, I just want to send a shout out to King James and Anthony Davis and the Lakers. Keith, you are welcome. You don't have to thank me. You don't have to thank our team. We brought y'all back to a place y'all long to be. Back in the finals, you and me. Anyway, let me stop. But anyway, thank y'all for tuning in. This is Jedi. This is K-Bum. This is Keith Norris. D2K, Leveled Head. Everybody in the live chat. We appreciate you, man. Tune in next time. To then, deuces. Y'all mad at me because I brought up that Lakers?
Nope.
Y'all ain't salty, man. Y'all not gonna put an asterisk beside it because it's the bubble?
Nope.
No.
Ain't nobody salty.
All right. So this gonna be a legit title?
It's a title.
Hey, this is legit. All right, fellas, we out. Tune in next time. We might be here next week. We might not.